Hello friends, today we are going to discuss on administration of Akbar, and special focus will be on Mansabdari system and the Jagirdari system. So what is Mansabdari system? Mansabdari system was an important pillar of administration of the Mughal emperor, especially started during the time of Akbar in 1567. Does it mean that there is no Mansabdari system before Akbar? There was, but it was in a very rudimentary form. Mansabdari system was taken from the Mongols, and as we know, Mughals were the descendants of Mongols. So we see the Mansabdari system, and important part of the Mughal administration. The Mughal emperor gained all its power, strength, and authority from the Mansabdars. So Mansabdars were the pillars of the Mughal administration. We are going to see the various features and the other points. Now, when we talk about the Mansabdari system, what are the points that we need to remember? So as I have told you, Mughals were the descendants of Mongols, and Mughals is the corrupt form of Mongols. Mansabdari system comes from the Mongols' Yasa tradition. So as they were the descendants, then we should understand that they will be having a lot of impact on the administration. The Mongols will have a lot of impact on their administration. And there was the Yasa tradition. So the Mongols' Yasa tradition was having a lot of impact. There was Mongol aristocracy, which was hereditary, and noble birth, which was important in the Mongol society. So in the Mongol society, remember, there is this aristocracy and the noble birth, which was considered very important. And that is how some of these traditions, some of these culture, though remember Mansabdari system was not hereditary, but some of the features are taken into the Mansabdari system. That noble birth is important. Akbar inherited, but size and salary of nobles was not clear. So as I told you, Akbar started the Mansabdari system in 1567. He gave it a very institutional and a proper form. But was it there that there was no Mansabdari before Akbar? Answer is no. There was Mansabdari, but size and salary of the nobles was not clear. Financial liability on the state was foregone, or you can say the financial liability of state increased, the revenue was foregone. Presence of mutalba. Now what do we mean by mutalba? So when a Mansabdar got his salary, he took it in the form of cash, or he even got some of the Mansabdars got jagirs. So what the Jagir, and these people were called as Jagirdars. So what the Jagirdars would do is they would take the revenue which was due to them from the peasants. They would keep some part to themselves, and the rest they would give to the state. What the state, which was the due of the state, they would give to the state. So the due of the state was called as mutalba, and that personal expenditure was the expenditure of the Mansabdars. So state would have got the whole amount, but the state had to forego the personal expenditure. Means they wouldn't get that personal expenditure. So this is another feature. So what did we see? So we saw Mansabdari system have been taken from the Mongols' Yasa traditions and the Mongol traditions. There were some features of the Mongols in the Mansabdari system. The financial liability of the state increased, and the revenue was foregone. There was presence of mutalba. Mutalba means the state's demand, and personal expenditure was of the mansabdar. The size of the troops, though dependent on sawar rank, also depended on the evil designs of mansabdar. Now, mansabdari system was not hereditary, something which was different from the Mongol tradition. It was not hereditary. Secondly, it saw to it that the mansabdars did not become strong. It was not hereditary, and the mansabdars also didn't become strong. The mansabdars had, when they took their money, they had to follow a duty, and the duty was to keep some troops with them. So the mansabdars had their own troops according to the rank. But was the rank the only necessity of keeping the troops, or the size of the troops? The answer is no. Sometimes there was evil design of the mansabdars also. Some mansabdars wanted to become very strong, so they kept more troops. Later they would challenge the king or fellow mansabdars. Other times, just for the sake of corruption, they wanted money, they wanted to earn. They kept troops which had no data. So it also depended on the evil designs of the mansabdar, the size of the troops. The remedial step, though not sensible but taken, was highly inflated jama. Now, mansabdars are there, they are keeping the troops, they are demanding a lot of salary, they are from the nobility, noble born. So, a lot of money will be spent on these mansabdars. Now, how could the state fulfill this demand? This was by increasing jama. And what do we mean by jama? Jama means the revenue expected. And the jama kept on rising. So one of the problems of the mansabdari system was inflated jama. Then other steps which was taken was standardization of the rates in the 11th year. Standardization of the rates of the troops. But jama kept on increasing and the salary of the mansabdars kept on increasing. But the salary of the troops was standardized. And it was in the 11th year. Allowances of the mansabdars was not touched to avoid discontent. So this is the second point. So just remember, in the second point, what did we see? Akbar inherited, but it was not clear. Financial liability grew. Revenue was foregone of the state. Presence of mutalba and personal expenditure. Size of the troops is because of mansabdari. Sometimes there was evil design of the mansabdar. And the steps which was taken to improve the system, that is inflated jama and standardization of the rates, etc. In 1573-74, streamline of the mansabdari or the ranking system happened when Ain-e-Akbari listed 66 ranks, only 33 in practice. So the ranking system was properly made. Now, ranking system, how was it? There were 3 classes from that we are going to see later. But the ranks was lowest from 10 to the highest 10,000. Above 5,000 it was for the royal blood. 2 people we have to remember over here. One is Man Singh and then second is Mirza Aziz Koka. Both had the rank of 7,000. So just remember, and as Ain-e-Akbari says, 66 ranks were there. And lowest is 10, highest is 10,000. In the Ain, the ranks are mentioned. Ain-e-Akbari talks about 66 mansabs, whereas 33 were used. And as I was telling you, 3 classes. They were divided in 3 classes. First class was uh, before giving you the classes, just remember this was the Mansabdari system was dual ranking system which started in 1594-95. Dual rank meant the Zat and the Sawar rank. So just remember the three classes. Zat rank equal to the Sawar rank, Zat rank half of the Sawar rank, or you can say Sawar rank half of the Zat rank, and Sawar rank less than half or 0 Sawar to Zat rank. So we are going to see this in detail. So the ranking system, you must remember, first it was streamlined from 0 to 10,000. Then you must remember there was classes in this ranking system according to the Zat and the Sawar rank. In the end, the ranks, during Sultanate, rank was separate from military. So we had seen the Ikta system earlier. Ikta system, there was a complete hierarchy. So you had the higher officer, below him you had the lower officers, and so on and so forth. But in the Mughal system, there was hierarchy, but in every hierarchy there were soldiers with that officer. So he had his own army or the cavalry. In Mansabdari, each Mansabdar maintained separate number of troops. The Mansabdars were paid 8,000 dams per unit of Sawar. So just remember this number, 8,000 dams per unit of Sawar. That was the standardization of the rates, as I was telling you. So 1 unit of Sawar will have 8,000 dams. The Bakshi maintained the descriptive rules and inspection was done. So the Bakshi was actually kept for the descriptive rules. So just remember this Bakshi or the Mir Bakshi. In the central government, Mir Bakshi, and in the provincial governments there is Bakshi, who is actually keeping the descriptive rules, that is the Dag and Chehra, to check the inspection so that corruption is not done. Badauni informs about corruption. Zat Sawar dual rank introduced in 1594-1595. As I have told you, Zat and Sawar, a dual system, was introduced in 1594-1595. Zat was the personal rank, Sawar was the Sawar rank, that is the number of horses that you could keep. Three classes of Mansabdari, as we had seen, three classes: Zat and Sawar. Zat equal to Sawar, Sawar half than Zat, Sawar less than half or 0 to Zat. Okay, so this was all to streamline the disbursement. After 40th year, the species of the horse and the number of horses and transport, all these were also checked. Okay, so the species of the horse, the number of the horses, the race of the Sawar, all this was taken into consideration. It was maintained by Zat salary. So this was another evolution in the 40th year. So other than the Sawar, the stable, the horses, and the food for the horses and the maintenance. So the Sawar, that is the horseman, he will get from the Sawar rank, but from the Zat rank, 25% will be given for the stable, the horses, and the other contingent. But 25% was a small amount. The 75% which the Mansabdars had was quite a large number according to the contemporary standards. It was maintained by Zat salary, as I just told you, which was around 25%, but the remaining amount was very high according to the contemporary standards. Out of the total revenue in 1600, 75% was given to the Mansabdar. As I just told you, 75% is given to the Mansabdar out of the personal rank, that is the Zat rank. System transparent and cut nobility to its size, and ruler became important. Now, why was this Mansabdari system? It was so that it can be transparent, nobility should not be increased. That is why all this streamlining and keeping a cap of the number of nobles and keeping a proper rank, etc., so that the nobility could be cut to size. In the entire 17th century, that is after Akbar, no attempt was made to re-evaluate the revenue. They only changed the salary and they only changed the number of mansabdars and increased the ranks, etc., but they never re-evaluated the revenue, which was done during the time of Akbar. That is why the Jama kept on increasing. 1628, 81%, and 1656 it was around 251%. So just see the number, which is so high. What was the reason? There were rise in prices and superior crops were grown more, that is the commercial crops, etc. So we will see during Shah Jahan what was the changes. Before that, Jahangir's time, just remember, Jahangir brings a concept of Duaspa and Siyaspa. Duaspa, Siyaspa, meaning there was a few mansabdars who were working in a very highly volatile place, which was little difficult to control. So more troops were given to the mansabdar. Now the mansabdar, if he is given more troops, means his sawar rank and zat rank has to be increased. But if this is done, then other mansabdars will get angry, because mansabdari system also was about status, about rank in the society. So what was done is Duaspa Siyaspa was a new concept which was brought in, out of which in his rank, a part of his rank was considered to be Duaspa Siyaspa, which means he got double the amount of money. So if there is sawar rank of 4,000 to a particular mansabdar, Zat sawar 4,000, then what would happen is, in Duaspa Siyaspa, this is just an example, 3,000 will be given his normal salary and 1,000, so his rank is 4,000, right? So 3,000 is normal salary, 1,000 will be given according to the Duaspa Siyaspa salary, so multiplied by 2 or 3. So that was done during the time of Jahangir, Duaspa Siyaspa. And the reason is so that the emperor gains the support of the mansabdars and he is able to conquer, and the emperor was going towards Deccan and he was going towards the northwest. Shah Jahan brings a change and he brings a policy of rule of proportion, where he, in the same amount, the mansabdar could keep 1/3 or 1/5 of the horses and the sawars that he was keeping. So it was more money to the mansabdars. Mansabdars could earn lots. So again, it was so that a lot of support is gained by Shah Jahan. Now mansabdars, as I told you, was both military and civil administration, included both, and this is a typical sawar man of the mansabdar. So every sawar had 2 horses, and there were stables and other things in the contingent also. And this scene shows you on the screen, shows you how the court was very important, and the rise of the mansabdar came, or the power came, from the emperor. So emperor was very powerful. So all this was done to make the emperor powerful, because it is he who could increase or decrease the position of the mansabdars, and from him these mansabdars had arisen. So they were all liable, accountable, responsible to him, because of because he was the reason for their existence. Going forward, emperor powerful since Jagir temporary, as I just told you, emperor was powerful and Jagirs were temporary. Okay. Now that we are going to see in the Jagirdari system. In the entire 17th century, no attempt was made to reevaluate, and as I told you, Jahangir started Duaspa Siyaspa, Shah Jahan started rule of proportion. During Shah Jahan and Jahangir, based on time scale, a monthly, 9 monthly, or a 6 monthly revenue change was made. The revenue was kept high as what was taken was less. The reason they kept the Jama high, because less was taken from the people. If they would have kept the Jama less, the amount would be much more lesser or less. So that is why they kept the Jama high, so that they can get some good amount. Yes, so let's continue. It stood 75% to 50% of the record Jama. So what was got from the Jama was only 50% to 75%. So Hasil is the actual what we are producing, and Jama is the estimated revenue. So Hasil is what we are actually getting. After Akbar, changes introduced in Sawar rank, which was called Duaspa Siyaspa, and as I have explained to you, Duaspa Siyaspa is to increase the Sawar number of Sawars without increasing the rank. Additional payments of rate was done on dams per unit was given. So one dam, or you can say one unit, was 8,000 dams. So more additional payments was given. Calculation referred, we can refer the calculation as I have told you. I give you an example, like about 4,000 Sawar, 3,000 is normal payment, 1,000 is Duaspa Siyaspa. So 1,000 will be multiplied by 8,000, as 1,000 is as the per unit there is 8,000 dams into 2, because it is Duaspa Siyaspa. Later what happened is rule of proportion was brought by Shah Jahan. I have told you rule of proportion was 1/3 to 1/5. Aurangzeb brought Mashrut system. Now Mashrut system was again in places where there was volatile and the money was not. You had to give the money without increasing the rank. That was the Mashrut system. The reduction of salary started during Shah Jahan, later carried on forward by Aurangzeb. Reduction of salary also started. So all the reforms is being made. So just remember. So first you have increase in Jama, then Hasil was actually less. Then remember Jahangir using Duaspa Siyaspa, then Shah Jahan rule of proportion, then Aurangzeb Mashrut. Reduction of salary is happening. The Deccani nobles faced 1/4 reduction of salary because many Marathas were brought in, so that they could get the support of the Maratha Sardars. Waza e dam e chauthai, that is 1/4 was reduced, and Aurangzeb apparently was experienced and he reduced the salary. Aurangzeb faced more crunch in resources, so another reduction called Khurak, that is Khurak-e-Dawab, means Khurak-e-Dawab or Khurak. With the name only you will understand that it is the reduction in the fodder of the horses. So Khurak is actually the fodder. So these was used. So it is called as Khurak, or you can say Rasad-e-Khurak and Khurak-e-Dawab. So Rasad-e-Khurak or Khurak-e-Dawab. Just remember this. So that is the reduction in the fodder. Mansabdar received their pay in cash or Jagir, mostly Jagir. Okay, and Sat rank is higher, as I have told you. Mansabdar was mostly paid in money, cash, that is Nagdi, or Jagir, that is Jagirdar. And remember, Jagirdar was much more important because he also took up the administration, so they would rather pay in Jagirs. But next we are going to see why Jagirdari system was even beneficial or it led to crisis later on. As per Athar Ali, no division between civil and military service. Like in the Sultanate, military service was separate and civil was separate, but in the Mansabdari system, both were the same. Dividing line was Subedar and Diwan, Fauzdar and Amil. So in the Suba or in the below, that is Sarkar, so we'll see the units. So on top we have the emperor, that's central administration. Provinces is called as Suba. Below the Subas we have Sarkar, then we have the Pargana, and finally we have the villages. So in these areas there was difference in the division. That is, Subedar was for the general administration, Diwan for the revenue, Fauzdar for the law and order, Amil for the revenue. So that is collection of revenue. So we are going to see that later. So I hope Mansabdari system is understood. So we got some important points of the Mansabdari system. Now we are going to see the Jagirdari system. Now Jagirdars, again, as I have told you, was a very important feature for the empire, and the Jagirdars owed their existence on the emperor. Now, when we talk about Jagirdars, what are the points that we should keep in mind? So Jagirdars were actually ruling classes, or they were Mansabdars themselves. They were entitled to talab and they had to give to the state, that is Mutalba. So we had seen that earlier also. So Jagirdars were actually Mansabdars. So whatever we saw in the Mansabdari system is somewhat linked. Only the Mansabdars, they were given, there were two forms of salary. One is the Nagdi, second is Jagir. So if they get the Jagir, they are called the Jagirdars. So what was the powers? First of all, we know as Mansabdari, they were not permanent. They were not having permanent land. Plus it was not all powerful like the emperor. Plus emperor was the person who generated or created it, and these Jagirdars were kept only for administration and looking after law and order and sometimes collection of taxes. So we are going to see. So instead of Nagdi, Jagirs were given. Jama or Jamadami, that is taxes used for administrative purposes. So Jama, as I have told you, were the taxes. The Jagirdars took the taxes, and whatever was theirs, they kept it as talab, and whatever was the states, they kept it as mutalba. Emperor powerful, since Jagir was temporary. So Jagir was not a permanent like a private ownership. Deliberate mansabs, and it was a deliberate thing which was done by the emperor so that mansabdars could be under him. So deliberate mansabs revised for promotion and demotion. First of all, it was deliberate, and sometimes it was Jagirs were used for promotion and demotion. So the mansabs were working according to the emperor. Transfers of officials done, revision of Jagirs done in a large manner. Transfers, revision, etc. done in large manner because it affected a large number of people. So if like one Jagirdar is removed and shifted to a transfer to another Jagir, that Jagirdar will have to be changed to someone else. So the whole system or the whole empire was having a shuffle, you can see. Land revenue important. Jagirdari led to small class holding and large GNP. So the land, as the Jagirdari system rose, land holding became important, and there was a need of that area where contiguously there was same Jagir and same type of Jama, because you can't have, when in the transfer you couldn't have one person who is having good Jagir and good Jama then shifted to another place where there is low Jagir and low Jama, because that person will not be happy, and these were nobility, these were mansabs, they will not support the king. So Jagirdars were a class important for social and economic situation of the empire. So social means, as I have told you, Jagirdars, it was more of the hierarchy and it was more of social dignity, and economic means they were taking the money revenue and giving to the king, plus they were also becoming rich, and they demanded for products or goods, so they affected the economy. They could not demand more than authorized taxes. They had some limitation, they could not demand more. Revenue paper was left, so we'll see the procedure. Revenue paper was left by agents with kanungos. So kanungos are in the pargana level, they are the revenue officials. So their Jagirdars agents used to go to the kanungos, ask for the money, and just imagine the kanungos would have given them. It was not the king or the bigger officers were giving the Jagirdars the money. So their power was limited. They didn't have judicial powers, no police powers, because judicial powers was done by Qazi, police powers was done by Fauzdar. But it was mostly in case of moderate, or you can say lower level Jagirdars. If it was a big Jagirdar, they enjoyed Fauzdari and lots of power. Big Jagirdars maintained sarkars, that is the administrative units. So big Jagirdars maintained big area and had large military force, high status. 17th century Jagirdars oppressed the peasants, no regard for long-term revenue collection. Now these Jagirs were temporary, and it was all dependent on the king. So they didn't do much for the peasants, and didn't do much for the betterment and the reforms. Later conflict was there between the zamindars and the peasantry. There was a small digression in the Jagirdari system. As I told you, Jagirdari system was temporary, but there were some people who were getting permanent land, and those were called as Madad-e-Mash, and it was also called as Suyargal. Madad-e-Mash or Suyargal. They had permanent land grants, and it was mostly to the religious people. Guarantees belong to the theological class, and these from of the Madad-e-Mash, they belong to the theological class. They were pensioned of officials, widows, etc. also. Not much effect to the economy. So these Jagirdars who are having Madad-e-Mash, it was very low in number, so didn't affect the economy much. So I hope you understood the Jagirdari system. Okay, and so we have covered Mansabdari and Jagirdari system. Please revise it and compare with the Ikta system, so you understand what is the difference. Mostly question asked on Jagirdari, Mansabdari, and as well as the Ikta system. They might be also asking you to compare. Thank you and have a nice day.